It's about time I finally started locking in and started making these videos again. Welcome back to the map overview series. Today we're looking at Valley Ruins, showing off all of the hiding spots, all of the map traversal, and all of the recommended loadouts for Valley Ruins. Let's go. Also, I'm sorry if I sound any different or weird in this. I currently have COVID right now at the time of recording this. As always, we will be starting off with map traversal in this video. Starting off with up this wall here. This wall here, you can long jump up to, and not only does this give you an alternate way to get to the other side of this wall by just jumping off here down to there, this is a good vantage point. You can use this as a sort of sniper sort of area up here, and people usually expect snipers to be up on that tower over there or that tower over there. They won't think you be here with your flashlight off using like a sniper weapon or something like that. You need to know all the different ways to get up on here because there's often going to be people up here. You need to know all of these different parkour tricks that I'm doing right now. All these little small things that you need to know in order to get over here. This is a difficult jump and it's risky because if you're a survivor and you fail this trick, then you die. But you can long jump up to here instead of taking the stairs. Makes it a lot easier to trip people and juke people and such. Not possible from this direction. You need to be utilizing the extra height that you get from this roof here. Apart from that, you can always go this way around if you want to get onto the roof. This is a lot easier using this part of the map here. As for this area down here, to get up, you have a ton of these different bushes that you can use around the map. On this map, always be super careful of the cliffs, dude. Like, this is one-shot kills no matter what. If somebody gets a kangaroo kick or something, knocks you off there, you're done for. There's alternate ways inside of the cave. Cave walls are destructible. Same with on the top floor up here. This here is also destructible. You can long jump up here if you have athlete or some sort of boost. And this here, you can barely reach as a survivor with normal movement speed, but it is a lot easier to long jump up here with the extra bonuses of being a vampire or using athlete or an energy drink. Up in this tower here, an easier way to get down rather than using the stairs is by taking a bit of fall damage by jumping down onto one of these walls here. You can do it with this wall here too. You can try long jumping onto the trees or onto this here, but that is more risky and it risks taking more damage as well. This here, be very careful here, but you got a lot of different wall jumps and different things that you can do around there. Here, you can long jump up onto the roof here. Same can be done over on this balcony, just makes for good jukes and stuff like that. Now, for all of the walls that look like this on this map, these are all destructible. You can break all of these. Same with this wall here. You can carve your own path through this entire map pretty much. All of these things, they're all destructible. Here, you can climb up. You're going to have to go sideways as to not get your avatar slightly stuck on this part here. But you can climb up onto here. You can even jump up onto this weird rock if you so choose. You can also use this as an alternate way to get up here. Same can be done with these bushes. That is usually quite a bit easier. And you can also parkour along over here if you so wish. Starting off with the cave. Cave, we don't have too much amazing spots, but they'll definitely trick somebody who is less knowledgeable on the map. You've got many different places up here that you can long jump up to hide in. There used to be a hiding spot all the way up here, but it has since been patched. So really the best places in here are just coming up here, turning off your flashlight, and hoping that nobody checks those small crevices in there. Apart from that, all of these different bushy areas here, either with just these bush images or with these big massive bushes, they're actually not bad for you to just crouch in here and just use all these invisible parts and all these like images of the plants to just hide yourself in there. Like you can see in there on this final screen here, like I'm kind of hard to spot in there. Of course, those hiding spots will work better or worse depending on what your avatar looks like. If you have a very green avatar, then that will blend in very well. Inside here, this is a fairly well-known hiding spot, but you can break this open and hide inside of here. I wouldn't really recommend it. It's kind of a commonly known spot, but if you've got nowhere else to go, you can do this. And sometimes people won't notice the fact that the bottom rocks here are missing. And one of my favorite hiding spots that I made up myself, this is kind of a weird one, but crouching here. You got to be really careful when you're doing this hiding spot to not mess around with these and push these over. They are unanchored. Lying down underneath here has genuinely worked for me sometimes, because people don't think to even check up here for potential hiding spots. They underestimate the hiding capability of just crouching underneath these random 2 stones. And coming up here, you're completely covered up. Only places where they will even be able to see you, not even from this angle. They have to come up here to spot you. It's a underrated hiding spot that not many people know about. Here is okay, especially if you have a avatar that blends in. That can be somewhat decent. Down here, I wouldn't recommend, just because if the vampire grabs you while you're hiding down here, you are kind of cooked. Same with all of these spots by the ledges here. You're just like playing with fire here, really. Like, it is super dangerous to be in these hiding spots here. Only go there if you haven't got any better choices to hide. Now, unfortunately, this map does not have any fridges for you to hide behind or anything like that, so there are no really good troll spots or stupid spots in this map. But this is a decent spot here, fairly covered by the grass and the stones in the way. As I said before, coming up here is not bad. Onto this stone wall, you've got a ton of different corners and things that you can just really crouch in and just hope that nobody comes over here. More or less, a lot of these different hiding spots in these random corners and places are a lot better if you have the avatar to blend in with it. Here is an okay spot. Once again, if you have the avatar inside of this random hole in there, you might get away with. Aside from that, there's not too many other hiding spots on this map. The tents are really only like last choice if you haven't got anything better to do. Now it's time for recommended loadouts, and I'll start off with one that I don't think many people would imagine, but I think that this is a good map for Joan, and the reason for that is because this map is massive, so finding the vampire and keeping track of them can be difficult, especially with all the different parkour tricks and jukes that they could pull off on you that I've shown in this video. So using the drone can help with countering that. But also, you can't really tell because I'm in deathmatch right now, but if all the lights were off and it was nighttime, this map is dark. There's not too many light sources in this map. So having the drone pinging somebody constantly really helps with keeping track of where they are. Only one downside of drone is that it is a little bit hard to get up some of the slopes in this map. As for the hunter, of course, you're going to want something that is medium to long range. You're going to be sniping people from across the map with this thing, okay? The vampire won't always be close to you. You're going to want something that is going to help you with shooting people who are far away from you. My go-to gun picks for this map would probably be something like the Mosin Nagant, the Hefner Special, or the Hefner but not Special. Because of how big this map is and all the different parkour things and stuff like that, you're going to want things like Athlete, Stamina, Energy Drink, etc. for all of the different movement things to get around the map. Not only efficiently, but faster, and to make the longer jumps possible. Like so. Flare doesn't stand out too much as a gadget, but of all the maps to pick a flare on, for the same reasons that I've stated the drone gadget for, the flare will also be really useful, just for spotting where the vampire is and marking them on the map. As for vampire abilities, Kangaroo is useful for traversing the map, so is Chiroptera. Just the different traversal things on this big map helps a lot. Storm Gustcast helps so much. You get so many free kills with Gustcast, pushing them off either the big cliffs on each side of the map or pushing survivors off the big towers or big tall hiding spot sort of areas. As well as the lightning strike and tornado just help to bring everybody in or to deal a bunch of damage. You're going to want to stay away from using things like volatile or using things like the grenades. That stuff only really works best on the small maps where people are enclosed in small areas. And in a big map like Valley Ruins, you're just going to have people run away from you, and they're going to run away from the grenades and whatever, and they're not going to do enough. Huntsman, this doesn't work on this map because there's no doors on this map, so you can't hide any bear traps behind doors. You can't use barbed wire or caltrops behind doors. You can't really tranquilize somebody in a room to take advantage of them or anything. Only thing that Huntsman would be good at on this map is using the harpoon to pull somebody off high ground, onto low ground and deal a bunch of pull damage to them. But you have better abilities to do stuff like that with, such as Kangaroo, Roundhouse Kick, or using Storm. Diamond Skin Crystal Cast can also push people off the map if you're good enough at using it. I'm not very good at using Diamond Skin. The other Diamond Skin ability, which is called Diamond Skin, which is very, very great. It is actually probably the best map for this to be used on. What this does is it deflects bullets and hits and damage that you take. And the issue with this map when you're the vampire is that it is quite open, so you're going to be taking a lot of damage usually as the vampire, because people are going to be sniping at you from afar and you won't have too much potential to juke around many objects. So having Diamond Skin or any sort of healing items or healing abilities as the vampire will help you out with negating some of that damage. That makes things like Blackout pretty decent because you can use the Blackout Energy Drain, and also the Power Surge to make it completely dark will shut down anybody's attempts to try and snipe you from afar because they won't be able to see you. If you have trouble with finding people, then using Heat Sense could be good on this map. Otherwise, Cloak could also be good for just using the Disappear while in the big open spaces of this map. If you're worried about falling, then Feather Fall of course is a good pick, but usually I just try not to fall to start with, and that makes me not use Feather Fall often. I just try and be careful most of the time. Otherwise, I'd just say use whatever loadout you want, or pick Athlete if you want to do a lot of parkour sort of stuff. As for gadgets, Barricade is useless on this map. Don't even bother bringing this because there's not enough rooms for you to make use of Barricade to start with. But with a few doorways and rooms that you can barricade in this map anyways, there's too many different doorways, entrances and parkour tricks that you can use to just make the barricades pretty much useless. So really this is just not going to help you on this map at all. Now on the other hand, things like axe or baseball bat, any sort of weapon gadgets that deal damage to the environment, these are going to be a must bring for this map, okay? You're going to want to break down all those walls that separate all the different parts of the map to give yourself extra pathways on the map. Smoke bombs, I'd say stay away from using these because of how open the map is. Usually people will be able to run away from the smoke bombs fairly quickly and they won't get too much value. Night vision goggles. On this map, this is probably the best map for night vision goggles, just because of how dark it usually is and how open it is. This will help a lot if you're trying to snipe people from across the map in the darkness. And of course, if you're good at aiming, this is a big open map, so using a bow and arrow or a slingshot if you prefer, those are going to be good for getting some more snipes when you're not the hunter. That's about all my recommendations and advice for Valley Ruins. Hopefully I'll be getting back more into the VH3 content and just more content on this channel in general. The reason why I haven't been uploading much is due to my D drive being busted. That has made my DaVinci Resolve stop working and a lot of the files and stuff like that are kind of cooked. So yeah, I've lost a lot of stuff on my D drive, or just a lot of it has just been down recently. And so it's only just now that I've been starting to get back into making videos and editing. That as well as motivation and wanting to do other things, lots of distractions and such. I can list off a bunch of excuses, but hopefully we'll be starting to do more videos. Next week we're going to have a video on Zac Corp Offices, so stay tuned for that, and I hope you enjoyed.